It ain't often WWE does something that actually is surprising and good, but tonight we actually got that with the United States Championship Open Challenge, Fight Our Truth, in which we have a new United States Champion in Samoa Joe. Definitely the highlight of this episode of Smackdown Live, with the fact that we had Charlotte and Becky in the main event segment, Kevin Owens versus Eric Rowan, the Usos getting, Jey Uso getting beat by The Miz as they build towards their match at Fastlane, and a pretty decent build, much better than what we got on Monday Night Raw for Fastlane. Tonight's show was pretty good, even though I still have a couple things scratching my head, and we'll get into them as we go. Again, as I said, Samoa Joe is your new United States Champion, and I am absolutely elated for the guy. I have been a fan of Samoa Joe since 2005 or 6 when I was watching him in TNA during that entire time that he was the undefeated big, huge Samoan submission machine, the guy that couldn't be beat until they gave it to the wrong guy, in my opinion, when Kurt Angle came in and was the first man to beat Samoa Joe. But that is neither here nor there. Tonight's show was definitely a thumbs-up show, in my opinion. Definitely better than we had on Monday Night Raw, where Monday Night Raw was just built around the Shield, as it was. We will talk about this on Saturday, how the Shield one last time thing might be the actual way that it's going. We'll get to that on Saturday. For Unscripted, make sure to tune in on there. Tonight's show started off with the new Daniel Bryan. Fans start booing someone as the music stops, and Bryan has the mic. Bryan doesn't speak, but he motions to the big screen as we get a video package showing how Kofi Kingston lost his title opportunity last week. Let's see here. McMahon brought back Kevin Owens, giving him the title shot instead. We come back and fans are booing Bryan. Bryan says he sat there and remained silent as Stephanie McMahon, Shane McMahon, and everyone else gushed about Kofi Kingston. The Kofi chants are loud and thunderous, but you can still hear very small, but it's starting to grow, I think, a little bit, the boos towards Kofi Kingston. Not everybody is behind Kofi Kingston as everyone thinks they are. There are people out there, like, doesn't matter your skin color, race, or whatever. There are people who don't see Kofi Kingston as being WWE Championship material. 10 years ago, or when his singles push that he was supposed to get got derailed, and he was serious, and he took that, like, when he started feuding with Randy Orton, and he was going to take the title off of Randy Orton, allegedly, that felt like the time that Kofi Kingston should have been given the chance to be WWE Champion. The last 4 or 5 years, the dude has been nothing but a pancake-throwing goofball. Somebody that, in where he's at right now, you would not see as WWE Champion. How anyone could sit there and be like, oh, well, this guy should be WWE Champion. I don't feel like he should. And it's okay to feel like that. Just because he's being pushed, I'm not going to, like, if Kofi Kingston wins the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, it'll be a feel-good moment, and I'm not going to be mad. Just don't do the whole, well, we're going to break the New Day up after we give him the WWE Championship. If they were going to break the New Day up, they should have did it a long time ago. It's not happening. They have Up, Up, Down, Down with Xavier Woods, who definitely, and Kofi Kingston has a show on there. How are you going to turn the New Day heel and then have Kofi Kingston do his I Just Love Kicks on Up, Up, Down, Down, or be Mr. 24/7 on Up, Up, Down, Down overall? It just makes no sense. So that's not going to happen. Anyway, this was just the Kofi Kingston, the high of Kofi Kingston was in the Elimination Chamber. Anybody who says otherwise and that he's just as more popular as he was then, it's actually, you can hear it. It's starting to, the high of the WWE Universe is starting to come down. And if he doesn't win the championship at WrestleMania, he's never winning the championship. And anybody who is sitting there like, oh, they shouldn't take him out and this should be his time is at Fastlane. If he would have stayed at Fastlane and still had the championship match at Fastlane, then he was not winning the championship and he was not getting the match at WrestleMania. Anyway, we'll continue on. The Kofi chant started up now. Bryan says he remained silent when Vince McMahon brought Owens back. Now it's time for fans to remain silent. Rowan tells the crowd to shut up twice. He tells them to open their ears because Bryan is about to enlighten us, as the fans respond with another Kofi Kingston chant. Okay, my thing needs to be refreshed because something's not right. He goes on and talks to them a little bit more. and starts talking about how he is the champ. He is a champion we need. He is the world's the planet's champion. He has everything to lose. While Kevin Owens, who is a nobody to him, a nobody is somebody who has nothing to lose. Kevin Owens eventually does come out, and here. Let's see. Owens talks about watching every Raw and SmackDown from his couch with his family while he was out, and he did that because he loves doing what he does, and that is being a WWE superstar. But not when Daniel Bryan was on TV. It made him sick to watch Daniel Bryan on TV. Let's see. He does eventually enter the ring and mentions how Owen doesn't have any friends left. Oh, Daniel Bryan says that. Owen says that is true, and that's also right. Owen says he didn't need any friends when he hit the stunner and pinned Bryan last week. So is he using the stunner now as his finisher, or is that just something that he's doing for the heck of it right now? Because I know he used the pop-up powerbomb last week, but it didn't get the win. So is the stunner his new finisher? Somebody enlighten me on that. Owen says he never intended to take Kofi's opportunity, but on Sunday at Fastlane, it will be his intention to pin Bryan again, and this time he's taking the WWE title with him. Rowan steps up and gets in Rowan's face. Owen strikes at first and unloads on Rowan as they start brawling. Owens dumps Rowan to the outside over the top rope. Bryan and Owens start the brawl. Owens goes for the stunner, but Rowan comes in for the save. Rowan drives Owens down into the mat and gets all hyped up and everything as Bryan raises the title, and they leave after that. Pretty decent promo. Daniel Bryan is just best at what he does. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on Sunday, but this was not the last time we would see all three of these men, as Kevin Owens and Eric Rowan would have a match later in the night, the main event match of the night, but not the main event segment. The next portion after we find out that the United States Championship Open Challenge will be happening later in the night. Not the next segment. It's one after. Yeah. The Miz and Shane McMahon are backstage with each other as they warm up for Jimmy and Jay. There was the Charlotte Flair will be, I thought that was the next segment. I must be off on something, but yeah. Charlotte Flair will have an interview with Charlie Cruz, Kayla Braxton after this match, I'm pretty sure. That will set up the main event segment. The Miz versus Jey Uso, of course, this is going to lead into the match at the Fastlane pay-per-view. Before we got to that match, though, the Usos come out and they had some of the best promo work. This was definitely the best promo of the night. They talked about becoming 6-time champions at Elimination Chamber, and now they are in the Fastlane on the road to WrestleMania, which is the only reason the pay-per-view name is Fastlane, is so they can make jokes about that. We're on the Fastlane on the road to WrestleMania. That is the only reason Fastlane exists as a pay-per-view name. They talk about Sunday's match and they start taking shots at Shane McMahon and their bromance. That's going on. They also say Shane and Miz will be the ring for the real tag team at Fastlane, and they will get hit hard. You have got to go watch this promo because Jimmy and Jay tear Shane and Miz a new one. I could do it no justice. You just gotta sit and check this thing out because these guys show you why they are the best tag team in WWE, one of the best promos in WWE at this time. Usos say, of course, end with the welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. Miz and Shane come out. Shane says the Usos were making fun of them, but those qualities make them the best tag team in the world. And we will see who laughs last at Fastlane. Miz gets hyped about getting another opportunity in his hometown on Sunday, saying he will make his dad proud, he will make Shane proud, and Miz says that he will be the Uso. It will be awesome. He tries to say awesome, but the Usos attack. Shane and Miz avoid, and they clothesline the champs over the top rope. We go to commercial break with Shane and the Miz standing tall in the ring. This match had to go one way, and we all knew how that was. You're not going to have Miz and Shane McMahon win on Sunday. That match on Sunday ends one way. The Miz losing like he did on Sunday at the Royal Rumble. And then the reason they're hyping up the fact that Miz's dad's going to be there. That is something that not people, but WWE is hyping, is the fact that Miz's dad's going to be there. Why would you hype up Miz's dad being there if he's not going to be an integral part of this entire story? Unfortunately, Shane's not going to be the babyface. Vince McMahon wants to have his son be a heel going into WrestleMania for the first time since he's been back. So, Miz is going to be a babyface. Yes, that's right, the Miz is going to be a babyface going into WrestleMania. Miz has never been a believable babyface in WWE. Yes, I know they do the whole Miz and Mrs. thing, and he's like, I guess, a total babyface on that show. But he's never been a good babyface. This match comes down to the end with Miz waits for Jay to get back up now. Jay avoids the skull crush finale. Miz catches with the Samoan drop. Catches Miz with the Samoan drop. Jay with a big Rikishi splash in the corner. Jay goes up top for the Superfly splash with Miz. Gets his boots up. Jay puts on the brakes and catches the boots. They tangle and Jimmy tries to interfere and make the save. Shane runs over and takes out Jimmy on the floor. Miz takes advantage of a distracted Jay and hits the skull-crushing finale for the 1, 2, 3. Miz had to win this match. You're not going to have the Miz and Shane McMahon go into Fastlane with a loss like this. It's all going to lead into it, the fact that Miz is going to watch his dad be viciously attacked by Shane McMahon. I don't see how else they're going to do this. They would not, usually when they're in Cleveland, Miz's dad and mom are usually in the front row. It's always how it is. But the fact that they're even pointing that out this time means that they're going to do something with his dad. It's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're going to do something with Miz's dad. Eric Rowan versus Kevin Owens will be the main event match of the night, but the main event segment is going to be Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Kayla Braxton is backstage with Charlotte, who requested an interview. Flair asks if it's just her or does SmackDown miss the presence of her friend Becky Lynch. Flair mocks Becky. Someone invites her to show up tonight. Fans start chanting Becky. Flair seems a little thrown off by these chants. Flair wants Becky to come to talk to her about her capabilities going in the Fastlane match on Sunday, where they have a major stipulation in play, and so they can have a friendly discussion. The thing about the friendly stipulation in play is, it just more telling that Charlotte Flair is not winning. And the biggest problem with this match coming up at Fastlane is the fact that if Becky doesn't win, she's done and she's not going to WrestleMania. If she wins, you pretty much make Charlotte irrelevant for the triple threat match as it is. Simply for the fact is, why are you going to have Charlotte Flair go into a match with Becky Lynch, ultimately to lose, and then you expect me to believe that Charlotte Flair has an inkling, a snowball's chance to go to WrestleMania and win the Raw Women's Championship over Becky Lynch or Ronda Rousey, especially after what happened to Ronda last night, beating the living fuck out of Becky Lynch. By the way, to anybody who hasn't seen it yet, after the show went off the air, Ronda Rousey went back to beat the fuck out of Becky Lynch even more. Looked like she really went off script. We'll have to wait and see what comes out of that. But if anyone saw that Twitter feud, she did say the next time she saw Becky Lynch, she was going to beat the living shit out of her, and she beat the living shit out of her on camera and off TV camera, but it's still on camera. Out comes R-Truth for the United States Open Challenge. They do the dance break. He says he did this once because I don't know where they're going with this, and we'll talk about this after the match is over, but they're doing this whole, my childhood idol, John Cena. R-Truth is 47 years old, and John Cena is 41 years old, so you tell me how that one works. Truth tells Carmelo he is exhausted. Carmelo reminds him that his hero says never give up. Truth says, but he also says you can't see me, but I can see John Cena everywhere. TV, movies, and yada yada yada. They go on and have their quick dance break, who gives a shit. And then Lacey Evans comes out after he says the U.S. Open Challenge is open. I'm going to say this again. I said it last night. I'll say it again. Nobody gives a flying fuck about Lacey Evans. This is what? You had the Elimination Chamber. We're going on what? 3 weeks? Yeah, 3 weeks. Ever since the Elimination Chamber, you've been having Lacey Evans walk out here. The reaction has not changed. Nobody cares. Nobody has cared since the Elimination Chamber, and nobody cares now. The WWE's Vince McMahon's demented thinking is she's coming out to interrupt with this U.S. Open Challenge. People are gonna boo her. People are gonna be sick and tired of her. Yeah, the viewing audience is sick and tired of seeing Lacey Evans do absolutely fucking nothing. The people in the crowd are sitting there, oh, Lacey Evans music hits. Let me check my phone. I got about 6 or 7 seconds to be able to check my phone to see what's going on. What is the fucking point? Have her come out with a microphone, say a couple things, turn back around, and walk out that way. Have a couple things, have her just like bitch, like trash the town, trash the superstar, whatever. Just having her come out, smiling and in like waving and turning around and waving back does nothing. She has had one main roster match. That was the Royal Rumble. She had a fucking awful showing in that because she botched every fucking thing that she did. I don't care. Lacey Evans needs to go. Have this woman wrestle or cut a promo. You don't have her do that, then what's the fucking point? Knock it off. Cut the shit. Just enough. That's it. I don't want to see Lacey Evans anymore. She has go away, get off my TV, a waste of roster space, t-shirt type of thing. If I had a t-shirt thing going on, it'd be waste of roster space, and Lacey Evans, Braun Strowman, and Jinder Mahal would all be on there. Just saying. Let's see. He says he's done after she leaves because she didn't want none. Carmella says the fans want to see him defend his title. Fans agree. Truth says, damn you, John Cena. Music hits, and out comes Samoa Joe. It looks like it's going to be Samoa Joe versus R-Truth. And I'm like, oh, Truth, nice knowing you, man. But out comes Andrade and Rey Mysterio as well. Rich Hamilton's like, this is a fatal four-way. I don't know if R-Truth meant for it to be a fatal four-way, but it was a fatal four-way. I'll get to that in a minute, but this match was it was a good match. This was a really good match. But we're going to get to the finish because we have things to talk about. Carmella, after Zelina Vega hurricanrana's R-Truth into, I think, the stairs, Zelina Vega gets hit with a super kick from Carmella with Andrade focuses on Rey Mysterio in the ring. Rey counters a move into the Canadian Destroyer. Rey then hits a 619, goes up top, hits a frog splash. Looks like we have a new U.S. champion in Rey Mysterio. But no, at 2, senton by Samoa Joe, hits the Uranagi, planting Andrade for the 1, 2, 3. Samoa Joe is your new United States champion. I am over the moon. I am happy as fuck for this dude. Samoa Joe, last championship reign was December or January of 2015. Not 15. I keep saying 15 when I'm trying to do this stuff. 17. It was like December of 2016 or January of 2017 when he lost to Shinsuke Nakamura, I believe in Osaka, Japan. Samoa Joe, the first of two-time two-time NXT champions, the other one being Shinsuke Nakamura. This guy had come up, was put in a program with Seth Rollins, injuring Seth Rollins, and then any plans I believe he had for WrestleMania 33 were taken out because of an injury I believe he sustained. Should have won the championship against Brock Lesnar. Should have won the championship last year at least 1 or 2 times. Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe, champion versus champion, would have been a damn good match, but we didn't get that. To see this guy go through injuries and stop-start pushes, to see this guy win the United States Championship, I know it's not the main title. The U.S. Championship is almost as meaningless as the Universal Championship, even though it's seen a lot more often. To see Samoa Joe win the U.S. Championship, I'm hoping this is going to be a reign that lasts until SummerSlam, at least. This guy could hold the title for a year, winning, brutalizing people left and right, taking out all the babyfaces, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Rey Mysterio, Mustafa Ali, AJ Styles, and everyone else in between. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, they're both going to be faces on SmackDown. Anybody who comes over from the Superstar Shakeup, Samoa Joe would have plentiful amount of superstars to take on and destroy and become a credible and one of the best U.S. champions probably since 2015, John Cena, when he was doing the U.S. Open Challenge. But I am so fucking happy that Samoa Joe got his just due. This guy deserved this. This guy has busted his ass for 2+ years on this main roster to finally win the United States Championship. A championship of any kind is about goddamn time. I am over the moon with this. Now, the problem I'm having with this whole R-Truth John Cena thing, what was the fucking point? You have John Cena, you have R-Truth come out saying, my childhood hero, John Cena, even though I was in the WWE in 2001 when John Cena was a muscle head or a bodybuilder. I believe it was a bodybuilder for some kind of gym. I don't know where they went with this and why they even did it. If you're not going to have R-Truth going to WrestleMania to face John Cena for the United States Championship, to beat John Cena for the United States Championship at WrestleMania, what was the fucking point of this entire thing? I don't understand why they even did this. The US Open Challenge, I hope, will be put away for at least a year or two. The US Open Challenge was something that John Cena did 4 years ago. That was fine. Until, of course, Alberto Del Rio came back and took it away from him, and that was that. But we've seen it too many times. The Open Challenge needs to go away. Plain and simple. It's lazy, and it's just enough. It's great to see Samoa Joe win the United States Championship. Now, I hope he's not going to fall victim to losing every non-title match like the Revival and Sasha Banks did this week, and other champions have done. I don't want to see Samoa Joe win the U.S. Championship and they do nothing with him. This guy can be the best U.S. champion of WWE in a very long time if they book him right, and they have enough. Rey Mysterio, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Andrade. They could have him go up against Andrade, up against Randy Orton. He doesn't care. He can go both ways. This guy should hold this title to at least SummerSlam. Now, my idea that I pitched a couple months ago about Rey Mysterio, actually I think it was like a month and a half ago, Rey Mysterio and Andrade for the United States Championship at WrestleMania, we can just ball that up and throw it away. That's not happening. Not even close now. Samoa Joe should be going into WrestleMania as the United States Champion. The fact that this guy hasn't had a WrestleMania match, and the first WrestleMania match he could have is a U.S. Championship match as U.S. Champion. God, I hope this happens, because this guy that has been working his ass off and deserves a WrestleMania moment. We see Becky Lynch backstage walking on one crutch as she stops and talks to a staffer. I don't know why she's talking to anybody. She should just be stone cold Becky Lynch, not talking to anybody and just walking to where she needs to go. The announcers show a video from Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E revealing they will be at Fastlane on Sunday. Will they get involved with the match against Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens? I'm not sure. It will be interesting to see what happens, but we will find out at Fastlane. Aleister Black and Ricochet versus The Bar. Why is Aleister Black and Ricochet a tag team all of a sudden? Is it because DIY is unable to compete because of Tommaso Ciampa? Where has Johnny Gargano been? Johnny Gargano wasn't on Monday Night Raw or Smackdown Live last week, even though Cesaro vs. Johnny Gargano was supposed to happen. I don't know. Best promo, second promo of the night, was this one with Samoa Joe, which, again, the United States Championship looks damn good on his shoulder. Damn good. I'm so glad he won a championship. Samoa Joe cuts her off after she says the superstars on SmackDown thinks that Samoa Joe couldn't win the big one. Because, yeah, Joe, up until tonight, has always talked a big game, but has never backed it up. Joe cuts her off and cuts a fire promo about how the other SmackDown superstars feel, what he will do to keep the title. Says his opponents will get nothing but disrespect for any man who has the audacity to come to the king for the king and his crown. Joe says those who have nightmares about the day they might step up in the ring with him, rest assured he will make them soon go night-night. He did talk about saying he sure don't love John Cena, hustle, loyalty, and respect. Nah, man. And then we have Ricochet and Aleister Black, who will be in, I saw this coming, I know, talked about it earlier today. Ricochet versus Chad Gable and Bobby Roode versus, Ricochet and Aleister Black versus Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, the glorious ones, versus the Revival, triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team titles. My question is, why are these guys on SmackDown if they have a Raw Tag Team title match on Sunday? The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro come out and they say, good luck on Sunday because just like the Raw Tag Team division, you guys don't measure up to us. This was a good match. Cesaro lands on his feet off the counter, but he wastes some time and turns around into a black mass. Sheamus gets sent to the floor. Ricochet tags in and goes up top. Black flies off and drops Sheamus onto the floor. Ricochet hits the 630 for the top in a 1-2-3 as Cesaro and Sheamus lose to both DIY and Ricochet and Aleister Black. After the match, Black and Ricochet celebrate, but Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev attack from behind. Rusev and Nakamura have been beat them down until the music hits, and out come the Hardy Boys to make the save. Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy fight Rusev and Nakamura off, with Rusev taking 2 twists of fates. Jeff runs to the ropes and leaps to the mat off Matt's back, nailing the bar off the floor. But they catch him. Ricochet then leaps out to bring them down as Black and Matt watch from the ring. Ricochet and Jeff Hardy join them in the ring and stand tall together. The Hardys, Black and Ricochet look over from the bar. Rusev and Nakamura to recover on the floor. Honestly, it's a damn thing to say this, but it would Jeff Hardy versus a young 20-year-old Jeff Hardy versus the Ricochet of today would have been an awesome damn match. I think Jeff Hardy versus Ricochet would still be a great match. But with the fact that Jeff Hardy is way slower than he was 10 years ago or even 20 years ago yeah. We had Mandy Rose versus Naomi. As we know, Mandy Rose will be taking on Asuka this coming Sunday at Fastlane. We will have our predictions on Friday. We go to the ring and it's Mandy Rose versus Naomi in a very 2-minute match. Pretty much what happened, the Bill distracts Naomi. Naomi turns her back to a huge knee from Rose. Rose plants Naomi in the mat and covers for the pin 1, 2, 3, and that was that. Which some people are like, oh, how could they bury Naomi? Who else do they have for Mandy Rose to beat to go to before her match at Fastlane? You ain't gonna have her beat one of the Iconics because they're both heels. Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch were off doing their thing with Ronda Rousey, so they really had nobody else. Carmella's tied up with R-Truth. So they really had nobody else for Mandy Rose to beat. This is the problem with the Smackdown Live Women's Division. There is nobody outside of Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville to be a buffer to take on Asuka. It's really sad that Asuka really doesn't have an opponent for WrestleMania still, and she's probably not going to have a major opponent. After the match, Rose makes her exit with Deville with the music hits. Naomi recovers on the mat. Rose and Deville back up the ramp, which we all know if you back up to the ramp like that, something bad usually is going to happen. Asuka comes out stalking Rose and Deville from behind as the fans pop. They turn around and there's Asuka. Asuka drops Deville with a kick in the head and focuses on Rose. Deville comes back, but Asuka sends her into the LED board. Asuka gets fired up as she goes back to work on Rose. Asuka yells out and looks down to the ring at Naomi, who smiles back at her. Asuka makes her exit and the music hits. Kayla Braxton's in the back with AJ Styles. But when it comes to this women's thing, it's like SmackDown's got the short end of the stick this year. Last year they had the big money match. This year they had the short end of the stick, and that's just going to happen with the women's division. One year it's going to be Raw. Next year it's going to be SmackDown. This year it's Raw's turn. SmackDown had Charlotte Flair versus Asuka, and Raw had Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. I think I know which one's the big money match out of those two, and it sure the hell wasn't the Raw Women's Championship match. This year, it's the Raw Women's Championship match, and there's nothing you can do about it. Kayla Braxton's backstage with AJ Styles, asking about Kevin Owens, which, what's it any of his business anyway? I don't understand why they want to even ask somebody else why. This promo just didn't feel like it should have been even done. AJ says you take opportunities when you can get them. He says he wouldn't want to be in Owens' position or Kofi's position. He goes on and says the McMahon family isn't listening to the fans because they are screaming for Kofi right now. Gee, WWE and the McMahons not listening to the fans? Where has that happened? Every single day since the Attitude Era ended. Orton peers and asks if AJ is seriously ranting on how someone deserves a title shot other than himself. Orton says he can see why it took AJ 15 years to get here. Just stabbing him right there. I would agree with him on that one. Why would you be ranting about somebody else's title shot when it's not yours? Kevin Owens versus Rowan. This was just this was a nothing match. Owens wins by DQ after he beats on Daniel Bryan for a bit. Rowan comes over and then those two beat him down. It was after the match that I was actually happy about. Rowan scoops on Owens on the floor and slams him hard. Bryan looks on. Bryan tells Rowan to take the announce table apart on the floor. Out comes Mustafa Ali, who makes the return that he has been needing. We've been waiting for. Welcome back, Mustafa Ali. inserting himself in the WWE Championship run. So his chance of being in the championship match at WrestleMania is not dead. Ollie fights off Bryan and goes to save Owens from Rowan. They go out at it. Ollie comes off the announce table and sends Rowan into the steel ring post. Bryan comes flying off the apron with a big knee to the face of Ali. Cutting his momentum off, they bring it back to the ring, but Owens comes back behind, drops Bryan with a stunner. Bryan grabs the WWE title and retreats up the ramp with Rowan to recover. Owens stands tall in the ring with a trade looks with Ali, and Owens yells at Bryan, hyping the match for Fastlane. Great to see Mustafa Ali back. It's going to be interesting to see where we go after Fastlane. People are expecting a fatal four between Kevin Owens, Kofi Kingston, Mustafa Ali, and Daniel Bryan. I think Daniel Bryan versus Mustafa Ali versus Kofi Kingston would be interesting. I was thinking maybe we could see Kofi Kingston and Mustafa Ali get a championship opportunity match, where a number one contenders match at Fastlane, where some kind of fuck finish happens, they both get beat down by Rowan or something, and we get a triple threat match at WrestleMania. But we will have to wait and see what happens. Out comes Charlotte Flair for the segment to end the show. She enters the ring, and without taking a mic, she says she has something for us. She motions to the screen, and Becky's chance to start up. We get a video package highlight of what happened last night on Raw. Flair says she says, let's see how we can get her best friend, the man, to come out, and she starts a disrespecting version of the Becky chants. Becky eventually does come out. Becky says Flair knows Becky has owned her for months. The Becky chants start again. Becky says fans know she beat Flair on just one good leg at the Royal Rumble. Becky says yes, her ribs may be bruised. Yes, her arm was almost broken last night. And yes, her knee is damaged. But damaged people are the most dangerous because they have nothing left to lose. And then Flair was like, fuck this, I'm going to beat your ass now. Flair beats her down, starts talking to back, trash to her. It's like, you have nothing to lose, huh? You have nothing to lose? All of a sudden, Becky ends up getting disarm her on Flair. Referees rush down in the ring to try to break the submission, but Becky tightens it. Flair finally gets free and escapes to the floor, clutching her arm as fans chant for Becky. Smackdown goes off the air with Becky standing tall in the ring as she hangs. She points to the WrestleMania sign, and that was Smackdown Live. Pretty good show tonight. I am definitely happy to see Samoa Joe finally getting his just due. It's great to see Mustafa Ali back. Let's see what happens after Fastlane. I'm not speculating on anything towards WrestleMania, because nothing for WrestleMania for the WWE Championship will be built until after Fastlane. Smackdown Live gets a... If I was doing a grade or a thumbs up, this would definitely be a thumbs up. It would not be an A or an A+. It'd probably be a B-, just because the Mandy Rose beating Naomi in about 2 seconds is like, really? Come on. Where does Mustafa Ali put, going all this? We'll have to wait and see. This is going... SmackDown, I'm more excited for SmackDown side of things right now because this WWE Championship thing is really intriguing. We have Kofi, Kevin Owens, and Mustafa Ali all vying for the WWE Championship. Randy Orton versus AJ Styles is probably going to happen at WrestleMania. Why? Just because it can. We're on the... This was a better go-home show, too, for Fastlane than Monday Night Raw was. Great to see Samoa Joe again, being the United States Championship. Let's see how long he keeps it, and will WWE keep momentum with him, or will they just squander it away like they always do? But that is your SmackDown Live review. Pretty damn good show. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for NXT as the Dusty Road Tag Team Classic begins. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Thank you to the new sub that I got. I don't know who you are. I would shout you out if your thing was, if anyone subs to me and it shows up in my notifications you subbed, I'm going to start shouting those out until, we start getting a little bit too big for that, if that happens. But thank you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at TheFrauds. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFrauds08. And I will see you guys tomorrow for NXT and then Saturday for Unscripted, where I think we have a lot of news coming out of this week's shows. Until then, my name is TheFrauds, and you guys have a good one.